It's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you tune into World Combat Sports.
Once again, thanks for tuning in. You listen to World Combat Sports. Man, this is going to be a quick one. Definitely had to, stop through and talk about some boxing BS that's out here that I'm pretty sure everyone been tuned in to. But there's always more time to talk about it. Appreciate everyone pulling up. Hey, you in the building, hit the like button. Drop your comments in the live chat. I always appreciate the support. From each and every one of you. Deshaun Thompson in the building. What's up, bro? What's good with you? Salute. First, I want to talk about the situation that happened with the ESPY. It's not like this shit been on my mind since it happened. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't something that was beating me up. It was just the fact that, once again, he's been rewarded, right? He was on the Ring Mag sharing Fight of the Year, and then the ESPY come around and award him for his deviousness. You know what I'm saying? They award this man the biggest fraud in boxing, the grand cheater of the sport. They award him over Teofimo Lopez, Carissa Shields, Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? So if any one of those, Tyson Fury shouldn't have been on the list, in the company of these people anyway, especially Carissa Shields. Now, I commend what Teofimo did, of course, but they still include the franchise belt. But then you look at what Carissa was able to do. Hers was clean slate to the top. And there's no way that Tyson Fury should be in the company of what she's been able to accomplish, period. But the big anchor in all the pile of shit is, why is the boxing life awarding this dude so much? Like, why are they blatantly awarding Tyson Fury? Boxing is just proven that it doesn't have any morals and principles. You can pretty much come into the sport and do what the fuck you want to do, how you want to do it. And, according to how you can get away with it, if you're a fan favorite, a popular fighter, then you're going to be able to get some reprieve from the sport itself. You're going to be able to get over. And that's what we see what's going on with Tyson motherfucking cheating Fury. It's a lot of people out here that still hasn't caught their breath from the disappointment of not, going over to Vegas for this big fight. And then on top of that, boxing is up here rewarding Tyson Fury. Just like they praise his Phantom Lineal championship. They allow him to return to the sport and say it was about mental illness. They allow him to be able to frequent these media streets and no one even talk about him being suspended. They just keep that shit as low and monotone as possible. You got to be shaking your head if you a true hardcore boxing fan. You got to be saying to yourself, how can this happen? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we know how it happens because it did with boxing. But the fact is, why is it happening? You know what I'm saying? Why are they supporting this fool? Why are you supporting a validated, official, proven boxing cheat? Like, what message are you trying to send to the upcoming fighters? What message are you trying to send to his compeers? What are we to gain from this bullshit? It's okay to cheat. It's if you have the complexion for the protection, it's okay to cheat. It's okay that there's certain people out here trying to do it the right way, not using performance enhancing drugs, being pretty damn good representative for the sport, but yet you don't get rewarded. And now I'm hearing that potentially one or two things. One, I already told you all, and I know I was the one that mentioned it. That's if Mauricio Suleiman wanted to franchise Tyson Fury. I mentioned that shit already. That if Mauricio want to try some bullshit and flip boxing on his neck once again, guess what? That'll be one of them. Then the second of all is if Tyson Fury is so-called put into recess, a champion in recess. You know what I'm saying? If that is the case, I'm pretty sure, I would like to see what this arbitration all entails. Like, what the fuck does the arbitration details speak on? If they talking about somehow putting Tyson Fury in motherfucking recess, then we already know what recess means. It's depending on who's in recess and the bullshit that goes along with it. If you talking about putting him in recess, and then you want to elevate Dillian, there's no need to shake your head no more in disgust. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just going to get you more exhausted and tired and shit like that. And you're going to be saying to yourself like, no, why is boxing doing that? I expect more. Don't expect more from boxing. Look, the sport just came out of a pandemic. Well, we pretty much was we had a first class travel ticket witnessing how boxing was struggling. Like boxing was flying in the motherfucking luggage department during the pandemic. That's how bad off they was. They were struggling to survive, man. The boxers really didn't even know, when they would return back to the ring. They probably questioned why they in the sport, because the sport struggled during the pandemic. And then finally, the regions start opening up and we get to see some boxing. Guess what happened? Now we have more scandal. We right before the pandemic, we had scandal with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. We went into the pandemic with scandal. That scandal being everything that happened within the boxing match with between Wilder and Fury, and then the fact that Wilder wasn't saying too much of anything, and then moving forward, come to find out the arbitration was real. But then you come up out of the arbitration days before, you have Eddie Hearns and them, playing with the emotions of the boxing fans as if it was an undisputed going to take place between Joshua and Fury. So it's all a fucking circus and a game. And you have a front row seat. You have a front row seat to all this bullshit that's going on. I can be yelling and screaming, believe me. I can be yelling and screaming about this whole shit. I just got company at the moment. You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking at this situation, and I really want to know how Wilder feels. Because him and Malik was working their ass off, training for this next fight. And I'm pretty sure they was motivated to get back in there. They was giving the fans, what they wanted. Training videos, doing interviews. And now that the fight has been called off, now we walk over to the next room of scandal. And that is Tyson Fury supposedly catching motherfucking COVID and not only flying on a PJ, right? But the fact that he was at the UFC 264 that just taken place. How many people on his team has COVID again? And if Tyson Fury was supposed to have this unique strand of the newly freshly created strand of COVID, I don't see any pictures of quarantine. I don't see any medical records. Isn't that what they was asking for Deontay Wilder? They want to see all the medical records and shit. We don't see the pictures. We don't see the medical records. It don't matter if, you sent the test over to Team Wilder. Anybody can do that shit. It depends on where your doctor at. There's plenty of ways to come up with a positive COVID test. But the fact is that they're making a big deal about it any other time. You have boxers who was losing fights because they tested positive for COVID, right? And then you have Tyson Fury, who's going to once again abuse the system because he knows he can. He's a scoundrel. So he pretty much takes a flight. No one's questioning him. Nobody's saying anything. It's supposed to be multiple people in this camp that caught COVID. And he himself supposed to be a positive test to one of these unique strands is out. It's supposed to be stronger, more lethal or whatever. And we don't see anything. We see him having a good old time at UFC 264. So I can sit up here and ask, who was running the UFC to the point where the news had already broke and they knows that Tyson Fury said he tested positive for COVID. Why wasn't the UFC implementing any type of restrictions? This Sean said, WCS, did you congratulate Tyson Fury on this award yet? I'm just going to laugh that one off, man. There's plenty of ways I would like to congratulate Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? It's plenty of ways. Because he's the best. We should all just bow down to his greatness. I would take that as sarcasm, hopefully. If that's your boy, then that means you accept what he has going on in this boxing world too. You also co-signing on the fact that he don't even respect his fans, he don't respect the sport, and he's at a point right now he feels he don't have to because he's getting away with shit because they're co-signing it and they're basically chaperoning him to try to get him one of the biggest paydays in boxing in the heavyweight division. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's if you're gonna say it's only one Tyson Fury, that's one of many like Tyson Fury. Is many motherfuckers out here that's just devious cheaters in life. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to sport of boxing, Tyson Fury is the numero uno. He's the top pound for pound cheater. Real talk. Andrew Charles in the building. What's good, my brother? How you feeling? But unfortunately, as boxing fans, we got to sit up here and endure, hearing him test positive for COVID, being able to travel, move around at his free will. No one's questioning him. I don't see any documentation floating around here. I want motherfucking answers. I want some answers, man. Somebody give me some answers. What's this big push for Jake Paul? What's this big push for Tyson Fury? They're selectively picking these individuals, man, that has a complexion for the protection. But what is it all leading to? You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury, why are they jumping so far behind Tyson Fury's ass, man? Kissing that motherfucker. Why him? What is boxing what message boxing trying to send us? You know what I'm saying? Is boxing trying to say they're going to survive regardless? They're going to eat regardless? The sport is just too big. So regardless of what you're thinking about it, they're going to eat. And it's up to you to keep up or you fall back. You know what I'm saying? They ain't worried about you getting ran over because that's going on already. They're running fans over and not even giving a damn about the casualty rate. They don't give a fuck. There's people out here that died from COVID, right? They was the same motherfuckers talking about mental illness, but there's people out here that died from COVID. But yet they allow Tyson Fury to blatantly use COVID as an excuse to duck this fight with Deontay Wilder. And then not only that, you're not even seeing the mainstream networks, the old media talk about it. No one's making a huge deal out of the fact that he lied once again. Tyson Fury lied once again. He only, just turned that light on just a little bit brighter because everybody who truly understands who Tyson Fury is knows that he's a damn bona fide cheater, man. He got the t-shirt. He ain't worrying about shit. And the reason why he ain't worrying about nothing because he has somehow, some way, he has certain people behind him to support his bullshit in order to get that big payday. It's blatant racism at its best when it comes to boxing. Because I know damn well Deontay Wilder when it came close to getting away with any of this shit. I mean, we're talking about if he was to be accused of any type of manipulation to his glove, somehow, some way, an investigation would have hit the roof and would have been full blown, and they wouldn't have stopped until they found out shit. They would have analyzed the damn steel frames. They would have, put them gloves out there over and over again. They say, it's enough evidence out here for us to pretty much investigate this matter. This is not right for boxing. Yeah, they would have did all that shit when it came, if the roles would have been reversed. But being this Tyson Fury, a person who's already been proven to be a drug cheat, a crackhead, and everything else you can imagine, he comes back to the sport, and Deontay Wilder just kept his palm up too long with this guy. He was trying to be a genuinely good guy, and Tyson Fury showed him that who cares what you're trying to do? I'm still a motherfucking cheat, a scoundrel. That's who I'll always be. And now, not only that, he has people supporting him and parading this man around the U.S. as if he's a damn global superstar. This man just didn't have any license over there. He was over there sucking off uncastrated wild boar. You had Mr. Carefoot come out of seclusion, and then he quickly went back in seclusion. You haven't heard anything else about it. Tyson Fury relinquished his boxing license. He was able to get away with a lot of shit. Now they continue to parade them around the U.S. like he's this big superstar because he can run his fucking mouth and talk shit. It's disgusting, man. This nigga disgusting for real. And boxing is not helping it out by awarding this guy. You know what I'm saying? They keep giving him awards, just slapping Deontay Wilder in the face, because when he was reigning champion for the extended period that he was, they wasn't even talking about no reward for Wilder. They wasn't even coming close to talking about that shit. But when Tyson Fury defeats Wilder, guess what? This man is crowned glory. He's the king of the heavyweight division. That is a question that is puzzling, that should be puzzling each and every one of you. If a boxer is appraised at the lowest value for his boxing skills, even though he has the crown, but he is devalued, he is praised at the lowest level, how can someone come along and defeat him with a low value of boxing technique and skills, even though he's a champion undefeated? How can somebody come in here and defeat somebody that is expected to be defeated? Why? Because going into that fight, they pretty much said Tyson Fury was the better boxer. So the expectations was for him to go in there and defeat Deontay Wilder because he had no boxing skills. So if that is indeed the case, how can you complete the mission and then be rewarded as if Deontay Wilder was being praised in the good graces of mainstream media? They never praised the man. How can the value increase? Well, we're working with Bitcoin, boxing Bitcoin. What the fuck? What was going on with this shit? How can the appraisal transfer over to Tyson Fury once he has a WBC belt and it's 3, 4, 5 times the value? How the fuck does that happen? I can tell you how it happened. It's just called racism, point blank in your face. Period. They pretty much denigrated Wilder while he had the crown, while he was reigning champion, and said he was at the lowest tier of heavyweights, fragmented boxing skills. And then Fury comes over here, hasn't did anything special outside of facing Deontay Wilder. He goes in there somehow, some way, pulls off the master cheat plan. All the evidence is out here. It still don't matter. Why? Because time goes by, Wilder wins the arbitration. Fury knows damn well it's going to be a very difficult task for him to go in there and defeat Wilder fair and square, because all the scrutiny that was going to be placed. So what was the only outlet that he had? Was to quit. He had to quit. He had to abort mission. And I said this plenty of times before. They're coming up with a plan. And that plan may not be inside the ring. And sure enough, he say, hey, I got COVID. So now, Tyson Fury comes up here with this COVID bullshit. But my biggest question, and I'm going to leave this shit alone, my biggest question for this entire situation was, how can Deontay Wilder be at the lowest scale of acceptance as a champion? The lowest scale of acceptance as a champion. It was no way you can, if we're talking about 1 through 5, it's no way that you can tell me that Deontay Wilder's grading scale across the board when it came to boxing fans was higher than a 2. People had so much negative shit to say about him, they wouldn't give him no higher than a 2. But somehow, if the greatest scale of 5 was the highest and Tyson Fury defeated Wilder, they tacked on another 5 to that grading scale. So they pretty much said what Tyson Fury was able to accomplish grades out at a 10. Wilder still sits at a 2, but we're gonna add the height to this grading scale of achievement. Therefore, we're gonna take it from a 5 being the highest to 10, because we have to continue to portray Tyson Fury in this positive light. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the new grand poobah of boxing. We know that shit don't go down like that. That's some bullshit. That it doesn't work out like that. If you consider this man not to be that high of a skilled fighter, then you still hold that value when he lost his title. It doesn't transfer over to Tyson Fury, a fighter who never defended a title before in his boxing career. A fighter who's been embroiled in controversy. A fighter who's absolutely disgraced the sport as much as it can be put in the darkest light possible. And for boxing to support it, that only goes to show you that they don't give a damn what the fans think. Pete Davenport in the building. Salute, my brother. How you feeling? Andrew said, I think Fury trying to ice Wilder because he's seen Wilder already fight ready. He ain't trying to. He is. He trying to put him on ice. But, like I said, I want to see what the arbitration paperwork says in this particular case. I want to see, because one thing I did know, they had a certain time to fight one another. That was September, right? But it could be extended for whatever reason. And that's what we're looking at right now. It's extending already, y'all. It's extending already. They supposedly fight in October. Yeah, we'll see how that goes down. But, Tyson Fury is pretty much, icing Wilder right now, of course, because they're not stepping into the ring in July. I mean, this month. They're not stepping into the ring. Because at this point, I honestly believe even if they reschedule the fight for October, whatever, he will pull out again right before the fight. My main concern is, justice for Wilder to be able to contend for his title. Because, we all know it's easy said that he deserved that opportunity. The man has one loss. So why wouldn't he deserve being able to step back? Everybody else that's been in that situation was step right back in there. Andy Ruiz, he was forced right back in there. Anthony Joshua, he made sure that shit happened. Wasn't nobody saying anything. Nothing. Dillian White get knocked the fuck out by Povetkin. Oh, we got to get the rematch. I really want that rematch. I got to get that rematch. He gets the rematch, and Povetkin comes to the ring like he just left happy hour 3 days ago. He's been on a goddamn drinking binge. He didn't even look right. But at least they was able to get back in the square. Wilder can't even get back in the square to fight for his title. That's how fucked up and corrupt boxing is. And these boxers can't come at me and say you disrespecting the sport. I'll cuss your motherfucking ass out if I care to. I say, nigga, you must be crazy if you're defending this sport. You chose to compete in this sport. The sport's gonna do you dirty one time or another. Just be patient. The sport's gonna do you dirty. So no fighters can come to me and saying, hey man, it's fucked up what you're saying about the sport. So the sport is never what you call a unit, a cohesive sport that you can consider a unit. It move as one. Boxing doesn't do that. Boxing is so far, it's just a kaleidoscope of misery. That's what boxing is. P said, I don't get no notifications. I have to let the kids check this phone out. They work these phones. I don't know why, YouTube does that, man. It's hard to know who's getting notification, who isn't. But I appreciate you pulling up as always, Pete. King Mitch in the building. Come back. What up? What up with you, man? Everything good, big bro. That's what's up. Shit, they both been on ice. Yeah, they both been on ice, but you know how that goes, Mitch. The primary focal point is the title, right? So if Deontay Wilder's on ice, the only one that's pretty much winning, it seems, while doing this hiatus, is Fury, because he's parading himself around. He's the WBC this. He's getting awarded, a ESPY for being a fighter of the year, for fighting a fighter that they never gave credit to in the sport of boxing, for his accomplishments, reigning over 5 years, going in there for his 11th title defense. They didn't award him for shit. His name never popped up last year. So they pretty much said all the time before February 22nd, it didn't matter. But on that night, Tyson Fury was able to lift that title. We're going to award him for that shit. We're going to award him because they want to say he put the heavyweight division on notice. But the only thing he did was remind the boxing public how much of a degenerate he is. He's a grimy ass disgrace cheat of the sport. We don't need to wait till all of a sudden Tyson Fury gets to October and then something else. He finds a way to pull out. And then, people's like, oh man, what's going to happen? Look, they're always going to try to find a different avenue to see can he still fight Joshua. So Tyson Fury can pretty much come off that WBC belt. And if by chance Eddie Hearns is to make a fight between Fury and Joshua, it's a lot of boxing fans that support Fury just because they hate Wilder. They'll support a fighter like that. They'll say, yeah, he's still going to fight Joshua. We don't give a fuck. We still want him to fight Joshua. Cool. That shit is insane. People are drunk trying to have this Fury Joshua fight, knowing damn well who they want to see. They want to see Wilder versus Joshua. They want to see Wilder versus Fury. Wilder is the common denominator to both of those names, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. It's up to Deontay Wilder, once he step into the ring, to go in there and get the job done. That's all. But they saying, hey, it ain't gonna be that easy because we know he's dangerous. We're gonna make it as difficult as possible for Deontay Wilder to step back through the ropes and try to fight for his title. And that's the bullshit, people, that I'm gonna ask you. You gotta exhale. You know what I'm saying? Don't go to the package store and start then picking up a bad habit. It's a poorly designed situation when it comes to boxing. It has no structure to it at all. And it's been that way for quite some time. And even though this is one of the worst, this is one of the worst, it will be another situation just as worse as this up the road. Guaranteed. This is pathetic. It's reprehensible to think that certain people will sit up here and defend the sport of boxing when it comes to the Hall of Fame and all this stuff, and they'll try to speak on it with dignity. There's no dignity in this sport because the individuals who are running it, it's all about the money. It's all about the motherfucking money. And we're not the ones getting paid. All this YouTube lives and everything, we're not being handsomely compensated for speaking about boxing and keeping it relevant. We should. There should be an extra check of reimbursement for what we're able to do. And look, I'm talking about those individuals that's up here on a regular basis than myself, that's putting out content, like 5, 6, 7 videos a day, all boxing. I told myself a long time ago that wasn't going to be me. I'm not going to just strictly talk about boxing, but you have content creators that's out here on YouTube that's keeping the sport of boxing relevant. Take them guys away. Take them away. Who's talking about boxing? Take away this YouTube shit and all the videos these guys are putting out every day, and no one's really talking about boxing like that. Look at all the interviews that goes on. Look at all the panels. Look at the listen to the voices that you see of the OGs that used to be in the sport, and now they're out here talking on panels and breaking down some history for you. See, that's the light that I love about boxing. In that lens, I love seeing the old heads come in here and talk about the history of the sport, the good of the sport. They're able to explain to you certain situations that we didn't witness ourselves back then. That is the curriculum of social media that I like when it comes to boxing. But what diminish all of this shit and just drag it back and forth through toilet water, you know what I'm saying? Flush that motherfucker, piss on it again, flush it, shit on it again, is what we witnessing going on with this heavyweight shit. It's always some type of scandal involved with the heavyweight division. Anyway, the deal says the fighter must show just cause in a deposition for fighter extension. That means proof. So I know, I understand that, Michael. And shout out to Michael Ayrton in the building. Just what I do know about the extension, they did put the month out there, September. They say, well, like you just put out here, they must show proof for it to be extended. Well, it looks like the proof is going to be this fake ass COVID test that Tyson Fury had. So they're going to pretty much factor in favor of Tyson Fury to be able to recover from this bogus ass test and then be able to have ample amount of time to get back in the training camp to hopefully step in the ring by October. When it comes to proof, it's all about who needs to prove anything. You know what I'm saying? That is the huge part of proof, y'all. It really don't even have to have anything to do with evidence, because bullshit is bullshit. Certain people know things are going to be approved, and they don't need any evidence. It sounds good in language, especially in concert where people are just speaking on it. But behind these closed doors, Tyson Fury don't have to provide any proof for anything. They already know what's up. I'm just curious to how many people knew that Tyson Fury was going to put out this shit and say he had COVID. How many people knew? Just like Eddie Hearns was dangling us around, guess what? Same thing with this. They was up here playing with all emotions. They knew it would be one of the heaviest Deontay Wilder presence of fans in Vegas. It would be the heaviest. It was so many people that was set up to go attend this fight and provide Deontay Wilder that support on fight week. They knew that. And they shut that shit all the way down. All the way down, man. I'd be in the building. What's good? Sticky situation, shaking my head. Yes, sir. It is absolutely a sticky situation. Once again, my man Pete Davenport, one love to you, my brother. Appreciate the support. Thanks for the $20 super sticker. Appreciate you, bro. All day. And if y'all in the building, man, hit the like button, and give a big salute to Pete Davenport. I appreciate you. Like I said before, the ones that I'm fucking with in the live chat, my numbers are great. You know what I'm saying? These cats will talk boxing. I appreciate that. These cats will give their opinion. They're not yes men. They talk, and they pretty much, ask the good questions and provide the input. Appreciate you, bro. Did y'all see this? I want some of y'all astute boxing heads to explain this to me. Just explain this to me right quick. This is Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao press conference that they had. I need for y'all to educate me on something because I haven't really been thick, into this, putting that QT in hours at a time because I'm still in recovery. But it's a lot of things that I was looking at. I was like, okay, I did hear there was no reinstatement for Manny Pacquiao. I did hear that. So with that being said, I haven't heard anything about Ugas in reverse happen to come off this, regardless of what the media was talking about. I haven't heard anything about Ugas having to come off this WBA title. So can somebody tell me what is Pacquiao holding again? Please drop it in the live chat. I'm curious. I need to be educated here. I understand what Errol Spence is holding, the WBC and the IBF, but why is Manny Pacquiao has a belt? Wasn't he in recess? Then they just basically said, no, they're not reinstating you to super. Why is this man has a belt? So IB say Manny has nothing. Once again, boxing is playing clown ass games with us once again. Why would you give Manny the belt to hold for photo op? And he's not going to be defending that belt. Man, boxing be on some shit, don't they? What the fuck is going on, y'all? Why is Manny Pacquiao has a belt? That shit's wild, man. That's just wild. And let me speak on Manny Pacquiao. And it's no disrespect for Pac, man. I like Pac. But Pac said that Errol Spence was a better fighter than Floyd Mayweather. And maybe he can teach him how to fight toe to toe. And listen, Floyd Mayweather, from the times I've seen him in person, he is all about Floyd Mayweather. But when he was in the ring competing as an active fighter, he was all about Floyd Mayweather. He was all about going in there and performing. From Pretty Boy to Money, he was going in there to entertain, right? There's always going to be some type of jealousy there. So if Manny Pacquiao wanted him to fight toe to toe, Floyd's going to say, well, check this out. Check out. Let's pull up Manny Pacquiao's record and let's pull up Floyd Mayweather's record. First of all, let's start with how many fights have Manny Pacquiao lost and how many fights have I lost? No. Answer the question, because y'all always try to do this. How many fights have Floyd Mayweather lost and how many has Manny Pacquiao? So y'all get on here and you repeat what Manny Pacquiao said. about toe to toe, right? So obviously, I did damn good in my career fighting on the inside when I had to, and then when I chose not to, and I wanted to box, that worked out for me too. So how can Manny Pacquiao tell me or tell anyone to teach me how to fight on the inside or fight toe to toe? That doesn't prove anything. That doesn't prove anything. You can't sit up here and say Floyd Mayweather ran. No, man, you got to commend this guy for being a genius in the sport. Not only did his geniusness get him victories, get him buckets, but his geniusness was able to put him at the top of the damn list of PPV superstars in the sport of boxing. Like when I just seen him down in the A, right? And he was in front of the camera and he was saying some things that we wasn't recording just yet. Well, some of us was, but he was saying some things like, I'm the biggest bandit. I'm the biggest bank robber in this room because I can swoop in and I can make 100 million by fighting a fake ass fight. And I can't get mad at Floyd for that, because if they're going to continue to give him money just off sponsorship alone before he stepped in the ring, which was about 40-50 million, and then he step in the ring and he get paid another 40-50 million. Why not be a braggadocious individual? I'm not saying Manny Pacquiao is jealous of Floyd, but the man is undefeated, regardless of you saying Errol Spence is a better fighter because he has that certain style that's in your face, in the pocket. If that's the case, Sean Porter should be rewarded, because that's, Sean Porter, he fight like that most of the time. I don't want to call you a bitter old man there, Manny Pacquiao, when it comes to Floyd, but I know you're angry that Floyd will not give you that rematch. I get it. So why don't you just focus on Errol Spence and whatever that shit is I'm looking at in the picture? I don't know what to tell you. Pac up there just gonna say, F it, and the Philippine champ. 79 boxing in the building, salute to you, man. He said Manny Pacquiao just gonna say, I'm a Filipino champ. Hey, that he is. That he is. You feel me? Manny said the WBA lied to him. Okay. I want to know why he has the belt if they lied to him. You know what I'm saying? That's the champion recess strap. Manny bought his old belt. Y'all know they make the new ones when the niggas win. I know he bought the whole belt, but if they're not fighting for the WBA belt, regardless if he's in recess or not, why show it to the public as if it really matters in the equation of the welterweight championship? The only two belts that are relevant is the WBC and the IBF. Manny was talking shit though. That's all that was. But Floyd ain't stupid enough to go toe to toe all fights. That's not boxing. And Spence won't do that either. Pac trying to get Spence to be in front of him. I believe Spence is definitely going to be in front of Manny Pacquiao. But see, the one thing I can credit Spence with is his intelligence on how he fights in front of certain fighters. Spence will fight in front of, let's just say, of Mikey Garcia. He totally understood what he was trying to do with Mikey Garcia. He didn't have no sense of fear that Mikey Garcia had enough power to keep him honest. So he was right in front of him, and he just was able to then drop them hands on him, be consistent with his punching authority, and make it a lopsided fight. Same thing with Danny Garcia. One thing about Errol Spence, he has total confidence in him, fighting at a distance in front of his opponent. And he's trying to break your will than worrying about you trying to break his. He has total confidence in going in there and fighting at a certain distance because he understands his toughness. He understands his dog-nacious mentality. That's Errol Spence, man. So when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, I don't foresee Errol sitting up there giving us about 4 or 5 fill-out rounds, shit, just because it's Manny Pacquiao. Hey, I want Manny Pacquiao to touch Errol Spence and make it interesting early. And when Errol Spence get touched by Manny Pacquiao, it shouldn't be no different than anything else. Errol Spence responds, and I truly believe he can stop Manny Pacquiao in like the 7th or 8th. It depends on how tedious the pace is between these two. A big part of me says that Manny Pacquiao, he's going to come in there and he's not going to show any type of respect to Errol Spence. He's going to come in there and do what Manny does. And then I look over at Errol Spence. Is he going to be respectful for Manny Pacquiao, or he's going to try to go in here and stretch him out? Let's not say it's a Hall of Fame, a first ballot Hall of Famer, right? Let's not say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But then Spence goes in there and carry him some rounds just to entertain the people. No, Spence need to go in there and get this guy up out of here. If he can, do it. Get him up out of there. He'll survive. You know what I'm saying? His corner throwing the towel before anything. They're not going to allow that elder statesman in Pacquiao to get seriously injured. If Errol Spence is beating this dude up and it's look worse for wear, of course they're going to throw in the towel to protect Manny Pacquiao. There's a whole country waiting on him to return from this fight. So they know they playing with fire. So I believe in that perspective, Errol Spence can stop Manny Pacquiao. I just don't want him to carry him like Conor McGregor was carried by Floyd Mayweather. I don't want him to get carried because he is 42 years old. I don't want him to get carried. Make it a boxing match. Give us a show and get it over with and move on to the next, man. Sir Senior in the building, man. What's good with you, bro? Errol hurt Manny before Manny hurt Errol. Absolutely, I agree with that. And that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people just looking at the fight he had with Keith Thurman. And y'all have to understand, Keith Thurman's mindset was different than Errol Spence. I mean, Errol Spence, one thing I can say about him, one thing I say about Errol Spence, he has the mentality to break an opponent down. He has that depth of strength to go in there and leave it on the line, man. And, in some situations he put himself in, it's not the best, but he gets through it. He does it in dominating fashion. And even if he's in a fight, just like he was with Sean Porter, he had that window, that window, that framed IQ, that window of intelligence, boxing intelligence, to catch Sean Porter in the 11th with that left hook. In the storm, he still had the wherewithal to zoom in on that window and catch Sean Porter and drop him. That's boxing IQ. That's still being focused in the eye of the storm. I respect that. I respect it. Manny Pacquiao shouldn't be no different. He can go out there and hop around and look like he's gonna have fast hands, which he's probably gonna have fast hands the first 2 to 3 rounds. And then the old man pack is gonna start talking to him from inside. Manny. It's time to close those curtains, Manny. The lungs are at full capacity in here. Are you listening to me, Manny? We're tired. We're exhausted, Manny. You've been fighting since you was born. We're exhausted. And then those body shots as Errol Spence is landing. Ouch. Ouch. The ribs are having a bad day, Manny. I feel okay. No, we don't feel okay. You have nothing else to prove, Manny. You want to be able to walk on stage at your Hall of Fame induction, not be in a wheelchair or do it from freaking Zoom meeting. It's a privilege for us to welcome and bring in Manny Pacquiao via the Philippines via Zoom. He wasn't able to make it, of course, after that last fight with Errol Spence. He hasn't been too much the same after that, but he's getting better for what I understand. But let's give Manny Pacquiao, 8th division champion, a round of applause. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to see that, Manny. We're not trying to have you be in the same position you was with Juan Manuel Marquez. But this time you don't recover the way you should. And I know Errol Spence don't want that shit on his mind either. But if you want to talk about anybody that's capable of putting Manny Pacquiao in a vegetated state, that's Errol Spence. He's young, strong, and he is the fighter at this point in time that can place Manny Pacquiao in a real bad position. I know people don't want to hear about that, but I'm not being insensitive. I'm just telling you the fact. You know, you want to step in here and run that gauntlet. You know, and Errol Spence is with Blu-ray again. You know, full training camp. It's crucial, dog. We really don't care who Manny Pacquiao is training. Manny Pacquiao say the time off since 2019 has preserved his body. He felt rededicated. Okay. I might have Manny Pacquiao all wrong. But if I'm wrong, I feel I'm still right. In this particular scenario, Errol Spence goes in there and beat his ass. And it might not turn out good for Manny Pacquiao at his age. Because in reality, Manny Pacquiao birth certificate may have him at 42 years old. But in boxing years, we might be looking at a cool 58, 59 years old in boxing years. You know how they talk about a dog, you know, each year 7 years. Manny Pacquiao right now, he might be 42 on his birth certificate. But add on all those rounds that he's put in, both in sparring and in fighting. Man had over 70 professional fights. Jesus Christ, man. This fight, yeah, you know, boxing look at it and say, oh man, it's all great. This is what we've been waiting on, right, people? But Manny Pacquiao potentially can walk up out of here in a different state of mind, man. He can end up in a coma. He can be the Gerald McLean. He can be the Pritchard Colognes, Adonis Stevensons. It's potentially he might end up like Maxim Dedashev, Patrick Day. And you saying why I'm saying this? Because people be looking at Manny like he's invincible, but yet you cannot stop Father Time when you talking about a killer like Errol Spence. It's just all about, is Errol Spence going to go in there and put them paws on him with bad intentions, or he going to respect who Manny is and he's going to fight to the level of Manny's intensity? That's all I'm curious about with Errol Spence. Is he going to fight to the level of Manny Pacquiao's intensity? D Hodges in the building. What's good with you, bro? What you been up to, man? Manny been on them power pellets for 2 years straight to build those muscles and resistance. Talk to him, Mitch. He was on them power pellets when he fought freaking Keith Thurman. When I put that shit up there, they said, oh, WCSU hating on Manny. Why would you say that about him? Was there anything proven? I say, well, from the Lucas Matisse fight, the Adrian Bronner, to step in there with Keith Thurman. Somehow, some way, I heard that, it wasn't no testing. Manny Pacquiao came in there looking fresh, goddammit. He was able to get a knockdown on Keith Thurman. How? How? Let's use that HOW. How? Was it because, Keith Thurman cashed out? How was Manny looking that fresh? How can he continue to return to the sport? I mean, this had to be body testing, right? Errol Spence does have the WBC title. Manny might break his back in the ring August 21st. Manny been on them power pillars at J8. My back is broken. What do you mean? What do you mean? My back. I understand that you injured your back. No, it's broken. My back is broken. Oh, Mike. It's spinal. It's spinal. What do you mean by that, Mike? It's spinal. My back is broken. Hey, that shit is a classic forever and a day. Let's hope Spence knock his ass out. Man, he should. Spence should knock him out unless he show him that respect, that elder respect. That's all I'm saying. I think Spence is going to show Manny Pacquiao that respect, man. I'm not saying he's going to go in here and chaperone him until the later rounds just for entertainment, because Spence still owe me some money. I drove all the way up there to see him fight Carlos Ocampo, and it's not like I left the room, but I think, with the AC on and everything, me scoping out who was in there, I blinked a little bit too many times. I think I blinked about 3 times, and the fight was over. I was like, what the fuck? 12 hours? So what I did, I started making it down there, to the front. What Spence was, I started trying to look for his people so they can write me a food voucher or something. I want to get reimbursed for driving all the way up here. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. It was people. It was packed out. Like, let me take that back. The capacity wasn't that large, but it was a lot of us up there that came out to see Spence. So I gotta tell it for what it was. It was a lot of black people up there to see Spence fight, and that shit only lasted not even a full round. I think the best part of the show was when he, Yellow Beezy walked him out. It's on you, babe. It's on me, baby. I don't sleep. Shit, nobody in the arena was sleeping either because the shit was over. They was heading back to the parking lot. That's the same night, because I always have to put this up, that Javier Fortuna quit against Adrian Granados. That's the same Javier Fortuna that just lost to Jojo Diaz. Yes, sir. He put on the show. He quit that night. Wasn't the power pellets? J.A. Dixon in the building. What's good with you, brother? Salute WCS. Exactly. It's hard as hell to fail a test that you don't take. Man, talk that shit, bro. Talk that shit. It's hard to fail a test that you don't take. You ain't lying on that. Wasn't the power pellets that knocked Thurman down? It was Thurman's stupidity and soft in the middle ass body. It was a partial, it's a partial on both sides of that. Keith Thurman cashed out, but Manny Pacquiao wasn't drug tested. So we can look at both aspects of it. Keith Thurman finished the fight on his feet, but yet Manny Pacquiao, he was moving around that motherfucker like he was 30 fights into the sport. He looked good. I low-key think Pac going to quit for some reason. I think low-key Errol Spence is going to make him quit. Errol Spence is going to make Manny Pacquiao quit. He talking all that shit about Floyd. He need to be concerned about Errol Spence. And he want to try to kiss up and talk about Errol Spence is better boxer than Floyd Mayweather. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. Nobody wants to hear none of that. Valentine in the house. What's good? What's good with you, man? Miss say Spence will get touched by Pac. Spence isn't the type of fighter that doesn't get touched. True. Getting touched doesn't deter Spence, though. When that becomes reality, that'll be the tale of the fight. Good shit. I agree, because Spence is that type of dude that he will get hit. He does get touched, but in response to being touched, Errol Spence will give you that lightning. He will give you that lightning. You get a good shot off on Spence, you can guarantee he's going to continue to come through the front door. And then he might ease up a little bit. But he will bring you that thunder. He will bring you that lightning. Especially, it hasn't been anyone to really catch him really good to the point where he just say, fuck it, man. We get that Bud Crawford moment. You know what I'm saying? You remember when Mean Machine dropped Bud Crawford and Bud say, fuck it. It's no more freaking boxing strategy. I'm dog walking this nigga. It's over. I haven't seen Errol Spence do that yet. Like when Crawford was dropped, he said, fuck it. Fuck anything you heard. I'm going after this dude. And I'm a dog walking. I'm going to get the stoppage. I haven't seen Errol Spence in that mindset, where he's just flipped the switch. He turned into a predator. Motherfucker salivating and shit, drooling from the mouth. He that pissed. He's on the hunt right now. He got tunnel vision. I'm curious if Manny Pacquiao can pull that shit out of Errol Spence. I'm just curious. When Errol Spence started landing those heavy ass shots, and Manny Pacquiao started looking like he's 66 years old, what's gonna flow through Errol Spence's mindset? Oh shit, he's aging right here. This is too easy. He's aging right now. You know what I'm saying? He's aging right in front of us. Is Errol Spence gonna say, shit, I know I can dog him if I want to, but I'm just gonna, beat him up and see if his corner will stop the fight? I don't know. Y'all. I can't call it. But I do believe Errol Spence can stop Manny Pacquiao. I'm gonna be honest. I do believe that. Not trying to change the topic, Jay, but I got Thurman beating Ugas if it happens. That's a good fight, man. It depends on, what Thurman we getting. He's talking his shit again, and we'll see what happens. I like both guys, man. I know a lot of people don't give Ugas his respect. I'm one of them. I like both. I like both guys in this fight. I do. Ugas is one of the nicest dudes you can meet, man. Real talk. Clean cut dude, always dressed to impress. Got one of the baddest chick in the game. He's a good dude, man. It'll be a good fight. Danny called Spence after the bell, and he go ahead. I don't know what that is. EO off. Spence had never been hit that clean to have to transform. If it was a person to transform him, that's Danny Garcia. Because Danny, one thing about Danny, he'll land that right hand now. He'll get to a point where he'll land that right hand. Asia Math in the building. What's good there, Asia? Been a minute, bro. Last year it was Glovegate 2020. Now Fury and Bob has ignited COVID. A lot of people calling it coward. You know what I'm saying? Coward 21 gate. My team of investigators are ready for deployment. Truth revealers. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. I wouldn't mind being, I have to see what y'all stopping point is. So I can goddamn meet y'all up there for that team. Shit. Somebody need to investigate it. Real talk. I got Thurman too. It'd be a good fight. Yeah, I want to see that fight between Thurman and Yordenis Ugas. I do. Even more so, I want to see Jerome Ennis thrown into the mix. Jerome Ennis is the future of that division. He does have some big names to go through. So I would like to see Jerome Ennis get the winner of Errol Spence Pacquiao. I'd like to see Ennis get the winner of Ugas Thurman. And then, I don't know who freaking Terrence Crawford fight next, so I can't throw him into the mix. But I'd definitely like to see freaking Ugas and Crawford. That'd be a nice one. Oh, White. Okay. What belt is Pacquiao holding in this picture? Exactly. You tell me that, Asian man. You tell me. Because I was asking the chat, and they were saying the same thing. That they just playing Manny. They're not going to reinstate the man. But yet, regardless if he brought his belt or not, the belt is non-pertaining to this welterweight championship. It's non-pertaining. Manny Pacquiao can hold that shit all he wants, but it's not in the equation of the crowns that they're going to be fighting for. So why did they do a photo op? It's beneath me, bucko. I don't know. They say Bob Arum is the one that's scheming. You know it. What is up with all these public workouts with Manny? Because they want to sell it as much as they can, man. They give Manny the royal treatment. You know what I'm saying? They give Manny the royal treatment. What belt is he holding? Real talk. Now I can't take it away. Manny did earn the title fair and square outside of drug testing. Yeah, he won the title. So I'm looking at it like they say, okay, Manny, bring your belt, even though you're not fighting for the belt. It's okay. We're gonna show you, we're gonna show you that royalty treatment. Jamal James is fighting Sean Porter, isn't it? He's fighting somebody good. I think Sean Porter is fighting Jamal James, right? At Jay just feel Thurman got more tools in the toolbox. Uga's slower fighter and more stationary. Thurman can control the ring, also fight off the back foot as well. If you're talking about, I agree with that. If you're talking about all-around fighter, we're talking about, hold on for a second. Okay. So if you look at how Ugas fought Sean Porter, even though the styles are going to be different, obviously, with him stepping in there with Keith Thurman, it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight. Now, of course, people are going to say Thurman should be the better fighters between him and Ugas. But, we looked at Thurman fight when we thought he was going to come in there and defend his belt, and he just gave it away. Like, he could have been a lot more serious. Stayed his ass out the casino and not eat ice cream before stepping into the ring. So is he rededicated? We'll see, man. I like both fighters. But when it come to overall boxing skills, yes, I definitely give a check mark to Thurman. Having a better cachet than Yordenis Ugas. Pete say the same Jerome Ennis that Keith Thurman said he had never heard of. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, Pete? He said he ain't never heard of him. Disrespectful. But, you say that the some hungry, when you're talking about a hungry lion, you're talking about a dude that's on the come up and it's not going to be stopped. Jerome Ennis is not going to be stopped anytime soon. That's period, man. Truthfully, I'm not a fan of Manny coming out a 2-year layoff and getting a title shot. Well, when it comes to boxing, what should we expect? And should we always understood there's going to be a level of disappointment? Yes. I would say no expectation, no disappointment. But in this particular case, how many people have returned to the ring with a long hiatus? It's according to, how much money, how popular you are as a fighter, how much money you're going to be bringing to the table. They don't care. It's Manny Pacquiao. That man last fight was what? July 2019, right? It's been a good minute, boy. 2 years out the ring. Let's see how old he looks. And he said they disrespected me. Stop it, Manny. You sounding old and grumpy, bro. You sounding old and grumpy. And he's gonna run through Berto. Now, when you talk about, I get it, but he really getting a thorough workout. I'm also not a fan of Thurman getting. Okay, I'm bullshitting, but I'm tight if Berto gets an Ugas fight though. I'm not so much. I'm not mad at Berto for getting a Dennis Ugas fight. I'm not, because I know what I'm gonna get from Berto. Man. They trying to, give Berto a gift to fight Ugas. It's not gonna be no upset Victor Ortiz shit. It's not gonna happen. Dennis Ugas is gonna beat Berto. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna beat him. I'm bullshitting, but I'm tight if Berto gets an Ugas fight though. You shouldn't be tight, man, because who else has been on the roster to step up and fight Ugas? You know what I'm saying? Boots Ennis versus Jamal James. I thought it was going to be somebody else, to be honest. If that's the next fight, I like that fight. I like Jamal James, man. Him linking up, those are some quality fights that we need more of in boxing. Less scandal and more production. And Ennis and James, yes, I'll watch it. Berto Ugas, absolutely. If I don't have anything else to do. Pac always trains with a pack of people. I don't like it during COVID time, though. Fingers crossed. Listen, I'm going to tell you, if it's one person that's not going to catch COVID, that's Manny Pacquiao. Any fight of this magnitude, they're not. You remember when they was fighting without a crowd, and all these fighters are, they COVID, and fights was being pulled. You're not even getting any type of energy like that when it comes to Manny Pacquiao. He's running down the street with 15, 20 motherfuckers. No one talks about COVID when it comes to Manny Pacquiao. The fight is going to happen anyway. The fight is not going to be pulled. This fight is happening, y'all. The Wall Street of this fight is not as large as a Fury, Wilder fight. That has a whole lot more, monetary value attached to it. But this Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao fight, man, they're making it to the ring. You can mark your words on that. Porter said he gets James and Thurman gets Ugas. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was going off of earlier. Porter said he gets James and Thurman gets Ugas. That's what I read too. The Thurman that fought Pac-Man will beat Ugas. I don't know about that, man, because I felt that he is a lot of things he did wrong in that fight. I think the Ugas who fought Sean Porter will beat Thurman. You know what I'm saying? I think the Ugas that fought Sean Porter will beat Thurman. Who is Josito Lopez fighting? Good question. I had it on the tip of my tongue too. That's another cat I like watching. Josito Lopez. You know what I'm saying? Coming off his fight with Santana. Man, he really gave him a boxing clinic. But I forgot, man. Like I said before, shit, I'm still trying to get my strength back. I'd rather Ugas face Jamal James or Josito Lopez. Yeah, man, especially Josito Lopez. Either one of them names are good, James or Lopez, but I like seeing Lopez work. I do. I'm not here for Berto at all. I'm not either, man. Berto hasn't fought since 2018. How the fuck is he back in the mix? Because he's corporate. Berto's trying to be corporate now. You know what I'm saying? Berto's trying to be corporate, dog. You know, he up here doing freaking interviews with T.O. and all these fighters. He's trying to change lanes, man. He's trying to change lanes. He's trying to all of a sudden act like he's this incredible interviewer. Hey, man, do what you do there, Berto. You know what I'm saying? He ain't did shit to me. Do what you do, dog. Berto goes overseas and give Conor Ben a test. Hell no. Hell no, Mitch. What do you mean by test, though? What test are we talking about? I think Conor Ben makes that fight look easy. I think he make it look easy. I like Conor Ben too, the flash and everything. You know what I'm saying? I like Conor Ben right now, man. Motherfucker got ink from head to toe. You know, that dude looks like a combat sports practitioner. You know? But I think he give Berto all sorts of issues if they was to lock up. Boxing needs an injection of structure and integrity. Now you saying that with motherfucking rubber arms, goddammit. In order for it to be an injection, you're gonna have to have a needle that's able to bend the corners and stretch. You have to make sure you have enough of whatever experimental liquid that you're using to be able to reach all those entities. Because like I said before, boxing, it just doesn't have one gateway. It has many gateways. And to inject structure and integrity, like where are you gonna have the entry point? Like it's not like you're looking at a nucleus, right? And you're just gonna inject in that nucleus, and that nucleus is boxing. It's not like that at all. So it'll be damn near impossible to inject anything in boxing and allow it to affect the overall unit of boxing. We have to do something incredibly amazing. Integrity? How dare you use that word, integrity, when it comes to the boxing and what we experience, you know, throughout the history, and especially now with you know how they're manipulating and cheating the system for Wilder Fury. Integrity, they're J8. Where are we getting this integrity from? Where in the CDC can we grab some vials of this integrity and start finding some type of entry point to build this up? See, the only way that'll happen, JA, is we spread that shit is spread it within boxing like the COVID. We're gonna have to find the COVID portion that's been tested, and we have to get enough of it, a higher quantity, to the point where we can see if it can start affecting small portions of boxing and spreading, and see if it's able to change over, you know, all this damn sneakiness, goddamn conniving, backstabbing, corrupt. We'll just have to see if it takes over like COVID. You know how COVID's doing? No one knows where COVID come from, how you get it, any of that. So you just have to pretty much inject that shit in the boxing, and hopefully it spreads. You seeing motherfuckers doing the right thing? Oh shit, that's that motherfucking integrity right there. Hell yeah, it's working. If Conor Ben makes it look easy, why the fuck should he get a shot at the WBA super title with Ugas? Conor Ben, they're trying to bring him to the forefront as another big name. You know, they're just building him up, taking their time with him. You know, but I'm just saying, like, I think he gives Andre Berto a nice little boxing lesson. Not that Andre cannot box, but it's not going to be no Victor Ortiz and Andre Berto fiasco. I think Conor Ben goes in there and put on a show, and we'll see what happened with Yadina Zugas, man. He's a super champion, so he need to fight a super name. He need to fight somebody that people gonna tune in to. Man, shout out to my man Willie Lowe. What's going on, Willie? If you on the road, man, salute to your best wishes and prayers to a safe return home to your family, bro. What up, my brother? I used my complexion for protection in the hood today. That shit seemed to work. I hope all is well with your brother and your family. Bomb squad for sure, man. Bomb squad all day, man. Yeah, I hope you're safe out there on that roadway, man. And we'll talk about that complexion for the protection in the hood. I bet that was interesting. You know what I'm saying? That shit was interesting. Boxing has solid structure. It's just a few different states and territories. Boxing has a solid structure. It's just a few different states and territories. Nothing united cause greed, selfishness, and fighters and promoters afraid to take risk. Hold up there, Mitch. There's a lot of shit you say that I concur with. But when you say boxing has a solid structure, that is absolutely far from the truth, bro. Boxing is everywhere. We're not talking about regional structures. We're talking about boxing internal to those regional structures. Like you have the intranet and you have the internet. Just how we can communicate. It's not people up here saying, well, what's the IP address for this? What's the time to live off every time that you put in a comment and how quick it takes to come back? Boxing has so many entities that do things differently, it totally destroys the word structure. I heard this fighter just say that in order for you to get your professional license, you have to have a certain amount of amateur fights. That ain't true. That's not true. It's boxing can go on. We have 50, right? Boxing go on anywhere, anytime. It's an annual sport. And then I can guarantee you those individuals do shit all different. It depends on the commission. It depends on a lot of variables. But one thing it does not have is a standard operating protocol. It doesn't have that. You go to some of these lower tier cars and they don't be checking gloves. You go to some of these lower tier cars, the fighters in there rolling the gloves all the way up. They're manipulating the padding in it. They're rolling them motherfuckers up. So when they finally put the glove on, it's barely any cushion there. And that shit is obvious. Like they ain't trying to hide it or nothing. Now I can go on and on about certain shit that goes on in boxing that you would shake your head with. That's why certain fighters just imagine this shit is going on in fight cards. So you can only imagine what's going on in sparring. But that solid structure is just a different states and territories. Hell no, I totally disagree with that, man. Boxing is so far away from anything solid. So far away. It's just too far in between, man, to have some structure in boxing. No matter what the rules say, no matter what the ABA reads, It's also funny how when certain fighters get drug tests, it's never mentioned by the media. Hey, not everybody get drug tested. Let's be clear on that. Not everybody get drug tested. When you get drug tested and your B sample disappears, how is that possible? Ennis or Thurman for Ugas, in my opinion, both make sense and can happen. I agree. Like I said before, I like to see both of those. Ennis or Thurman versus Ugas. I like to see both of those. I think Thurman should be able to get first shot because he was a former unified champion. So you just can't diss the man and say he don't deserve shit. You know what I'm saying? It's some other names that Ennis could fight with. You know, we just don't have to go the WBA route. I think we're just talking about the WBA because you think Yordenis Ugas is a soft touch. He's an easy target. You know what I'm saying? Well, we still got Terrence Crawford over there. I wouldn't mind seeing Ennis or Thurman fight Crawford. But we just don't know what's going on with his contractual situation. Ugas even can get winner of Spence versus Manning. Look, that'll be huge for Ennis though. That'd be huge for Ennis. But Ugas getting the winner of Spence or Manning, I don't know, man. Where are we going with it? Like the only, the individuals that will benefit off this, only if it contractually says that the winner is going to get Bud Crawford. So if Ugas gets the winner of Spence versus Manning, and then the winner of either of those three, they have to fight Crawford. That's the only way my interest would be piqued in that. You know what I'm saying? That's my interest to be piqued. He gets the winner of Manning Spence, which is going to be Spence. And then Spence scooped that WBA title. I mean, I want to throw Crawford in there so bad because he's still in the mix. And plus, Spence say he want to unify the welterweight division. So when it comes down to it, throw Ugas in there, give him the winner if possible. But you got to factor in Ugas getting back in the ring. So this is definitely a fight that can take place at the end of this year or the early semester of 2022. I'm frustrated. I'm not hearing anything about a possible Crawford Ugas fight. Nope. They're not going to get Crawford, I look at the Bob Arum situation. I say, Bob, why are you not sitting up here pushing for Crawford Ugas? He has a belt. That will only tighten up, the gap that they have between them. Errol Spence, he come off that Manny Pacquiao fight. And then if Crawford is able to lift that title from Ugas, then guess what? We 50-50 on this motherfucker. We have all the belts just like we did at 140. We have all the belts just like we have at 154. What else needs to be said? What else needs to be said? Nothing. We should be good to unify this welterweight division. Done. We have 154 unification. We had 147 unification. And then we got 140 unification. What more do we need? I'm talking about all three. Look, all of them would be without a franchise belt in the equation. That's what we need. That's what we need, Smokey. That's what we need, Smokey. Because we're not even close from having the unification at 60. We smelling the sauce at 68, but it seemed like Caleb Plant is going to make it hard for Canelo. You know what I mean? And it's going to be a minute for the bantamweight division. Really tighten it up down there. They got Donaire, Anui, and Casemiro. It'll be a minute. It'll be 2022 before, we try to decide what that fight that fight gonna look like, that equation down there with them titles. Yes, sir. Andrew Charles Crawford's gonna skate out of boxing, padded up. Sad to say. I'm frustrated on the hand. Let me see. Andrew Charles Crawford's gonna skate out of boxing, padded up. Sad to say. I don't know what he's gonna skate out of, man. I just want to see him fight and get his contractual and his business in order. That's all. That's all I want to see happen with Crawford. JA say Boots and Bud would be good for now. Absolutely. That shit would be tremendous, man, for the welterweight division. Yes, sir. Indeed. Instead of waiting on the winner of Spence versus Pacquiao or going for Ugas, but it seems like the long game is being played by both sides. That shit would be on fire, man. Jerome Ennis and Terrence Crawford. Absolutely. Yes, sir. We want that. But then you have to understand Ugas, since they allowed him a little bit of respect, because I was about to say, goddamn, Ugas, they ain't give you no respect. But yes, him fighting another top name, that would definitely look good for him, because he's still looking for that fight to validate him having that title to begin with, that WBA title. So Ugas needs a top name so he can just have that respect factor put behind him. And then his next fight, it'll be good to see, him facing Terrence Crawford. You still got Sean Porter in the mix, Jamal James. Man, you just have a lot of cats there for some damn good fights, man. Regis said he and Mikey are working on a fight, but they waiting on Canelo versus Plant to pick a date, which is stupid in my opinion. Just fight. Regis, like I say plenty of times before, I don't know what Regis' method to his madness is doing. Like Regis, he has Josh Taylor over there, but it's a non-factor to his language to call him out. He's not even talking about Josh Taylor. It's almost like an anti-Taylor conversation. Like, this man beat you already. You're in the same division. You want Mikey? You want Mikey, bro? Like, Mikey don't have anything to offer you, man. Nothing. Mikey Garcia has absolutely nothing to offer you. The structure I'm speaking about is more foundational, not the way the game is ran. I don't see boxing being obsolete anytime soon. But boxing, of course, boxing is dirty in the wild, wild west of all sports. You can also look at it this way too, man. You can speak about the foundation, but if the foundation was solid, wouldn't the game be ran a lot more smoother than it is right now? Isn't that what foundation is for? Having your feet on solid ground and having a smoother business process that benefits those who compete in the sport. I mean, that's just me, man. That's just the way I look at it. Foundation is everything, like you said. That's foundation is everything. But with that foundation and how solid we're assuming it's supposed to be, it should be a much more fluidity to the sport when it comes to professionalism, when it comes to the product of the sport, the best being able to fight the best. We don't see that. That's what we need, Smokey, for real. That's what we need. Come on, Smokey. It's about the principles of it, Smokey. Jay said they waiting to be on the undercard, or they're trying to schedule around Canelo Plant. From what I'm hearing with Plant, yeah, he wants 10. And then, negotiations have somewhat trickled off just a little bit. So in the meanwhile, I like if Canelo chooses to fight somebody else before Plant, that's what I like. Go ahead and fight somebody else. Andrew Charles, much love always, my brother. Hope all is well. King Mitch, they don't want to fight the week before or the week after. as if they would be in competition. Man, that's the whole point. Like, you have too many people that's saying, I want to make all this money and everything, but yet, man, I don't want to fight when so-and-so's fighting. Man, make up your mind. You want to get paid or you don't? You got a family to feed or you don't? Man, sometimes you got to make shit uncomfortable for those who you still respect, but yet they should understand it's a business first. It's a business first. Let's not get up here and continue to say boxing is a business first, but that's my nigga. That's my dog. Woo. That's my dog. I'm not stepping into the ring with him. That's my dog. You understand? That's my dog. No, man, go make that money, Spence. Move up like I told you before and fight Jermell Charlo. Once he get past Brian Castano, go up there and fight Jermell Charlo. Jermell lose them belts and allow your boy to goddamn become a 2-division unified champion. Put a rematch clause in there. That'll be only your second loss, man. Go back in there again with Spence, put on the show, and get your titles back. You become a 2-time undisputed super welterweight champion. Don't say I'll never tell y'all the master plan. Don't say that'll be the easiest way to get a championship belt in a motherfucking group. Pull out the master plan there, Spence and Charlo. Shit. I think Mike and Regis can be main event. Canelo calls a big stage though. They won't get any back end. Not fucking with the Zone and Canelo. Regis gonna have to figure it out. Regis needs another name so we can forget the debacle that we seen with Triller, with him and Ivan Redcatch. He needs another name. He can't have another clown standing against the ring doing that shit to him no more. He can't do it. We need to see Regis in the ring with somebody important. And we know it's not going to be Adrian Broner, because from my understanding, Adrian Broner is going through some other issues with drinking and stuff like that. So we're going to have to wait and see what Adrian Broner has planned next. You know what I'm saying? I hope him nothing but the best. I hope he get himself together. And, he's always a real one. I like Regis as a fighter, but after he called out AB and ignored the Matias call out, I knew he was just looking for money. He need to get that Matias. Come on. Don't act like we didn't see you duck that Matias call out. Now that's a fight I would like to see right there. Woo hoo hoo hoo. That's a fight I would like to see right there. I would like to see that. What do y'all think about that Ivan Cruz, that Cruz fight? Pitbull Cruz. Did y'all hear about his next opponent, supposedly? If you heard about his next opponent, drop it in there. I forgot who he was. I forgot who his next opponent was. Damn, who? Pitbull Cruz, man. Who's his next opponent? Who's his next opponent? God damn it. I was just thinking about this. Who is Cruz's next opponent? It's going to be a good fight, man. That's going to be a damn good fight. No, it ain't going to be Tank, man. It's not going to be Tank. It definitely ain't going to be Tank. Tank will knock Cruz out. He will knock him the fuck out. Look, Cruz coming forward Tyson style will work for certain people. But you trying to tell me you're going to keep on walking through the front door with Tank as quick as he is? And then we all know that Cruz, he stays dedicated to predictability. He loves headhunting. He loves it. And you can make Cruz miss a lot because he's so driven on just walking you down and trying to kick in the front door. He would drop those heavy power shots and miss and keep on doing the same thing. You can't do that shit with Tank. You can't keep on pressuring him thinking you're gonna catch him with one shot. You can't do it, man. He stops Cruz in 6 rounds. Gervonta stops Cruz in 6 rounds. I want to see Regis versus Mikey only to see if Mikey really has it still or he's really on the brink of retirement. Okay. All right. What about Cruz, man? Oh man. Let me I guess I gotta try to look this shit up, man. Let's see. Let me see who he's fighting next. You know who I'm thinking about? I'm not even thinking about Isaac Cruz. I'm thinking about Rolando Romero and Austin Dulay. What do y'all think about that fight? look, you had Ryan Garcia say he want to fight Tank Davis, and now you have Rolando Romero saying he want to fight Tank. But before that, he has a bout coming up with Austin Dulay, which is going to be very interesting because pressure destroys delay. Diego Magdalena broke him down. Emmanuel Rodriguez. Um, this is going to be quite different because we all know Rolly tries to go in there and take off heads and shit. Even though last time he tried to box, when it comes down to it, if you touch him up the right way, he's going to result back to the old Rolly that was fighting Jackson Marinez, and he's going to try to damn go head hunting. But that's going to be a good fight, man. Y'all check out that fight, Rolly Romero versus Austin Delay. That's a big fight for Austin Delay. That power that Rolly has. It's going to be interesting. And did I tell you that it's a female that I interviewed at Bare Knuckle Fighting. Her name is Sheena Starr, right? Sheena Starr Brandenburg. Sheena Starr Brandenburg. And we had some conversations prior to me interviewing off camera, because I was just kind of getting an understanding who she was. She said she was a hellfire. She was a wild child. And you can tell, she's been one of those people that she's had some rough parts in her life, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not sure if you heard, but my interview with her is up on the YouTube. I can't tell you where it's at exactly, but she's in prison for 5 to 15 years. She ran up on the back of a guy on a motorcycle. She was driving on suspended license or whatever. She wasn't paying attention. I'm not sure if she's intoxicated or what. She hit the guy, caused some serious injuries. He was transported to the hospital where he later died. But the fucked up thing about Sheena is the fact that she ran. Sheena ran. You know what I'm saying? They thought it was a one-car accident, and come to find out it wasn't. So she fled the scene and fled the state. And they found out it was her, and they arrested her. So she pleaded out, and they gave her 5 to 15 years. You can see a mug shot on there and everything. But I was like, damn. I did get that vibe that she's capable of doing something like that when I was interviewing her, because she said she was a wild girl. Yep. 5 to 15 years. Rolly got to prove he elite with overall boxing skills. Ain't dirt to me. We both, I link up on you on that. Rolly's boxing skills, he's working on that shit. I really want to know what Gary is going to do since he turned down another Haney offer and doesn't seem interested in fighting Leo now that he said he's ready. Man, I don't know what's going on with G. Russell, man. Who he don't want to fight, why he don't want to fight. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, this would be the opportunity to pick up that Haney money. But from what I'm hearing, Haney's going to fight freaking JoJo Diaz later on this year. So I thought that would be a good bag for him to pick up. Fight Devin Haney, bro. I mean, get that shit out the way. 2 brothers, too. You a free agent? I mean, why couldn't we make that shit happen? Why didn't Ray Vargas happen? I don't know what's going on with Mr. Gary Russell, bro. Mikey versus Regis is a great fight for the both of them. Neither is getting a title shot right now. Neither has been at 140 for a while now. Regis has. Regis has. He just fought Ivan Redkach, I think, at a little catch weight. But yeah, you know, I want to ask y'all about something else that I seen, right? Somebody explain how that's the case. Please explain that. They say global superstar Jake Paul to face former UFC champion Tyron Woodley headlining Showtime PPV boxing event on Sunday. They're headlining a Showtime event, which happened to have Amanda Serrano facing Mikado as a co-main event. I think Amanda Serrano is 41-0 or something like that, 40-0, 30 knockouts. So you're gonna have Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley headlining this card in Cleveland. Not only that, they're up here pushing this dude as a global superstar. How is that even sanely possible that he's a freaking global superstar? He's defeated Nate Robinson, right? He defeated Gibb. He just defeated Ben Askren. I mean, come on now. How is this man a global superstar? And Tyron Woodley, I don't need to tell you, he's certified. One thing I can say about Tyron Woodley, who's on a four fight losing skid in the UFC, you really need to win this for your legacy outside the ring too. Because you done told everybody you certified G before you stepped in there, and I'm pretty sure you was. But you just don't want a YouTube guy being on your resume and you didn't come out the winner. Like Floyd invited Conor McGregor over to the boxing ring because he knew he was gonna goddamn get that shit done effectively and in the process earn millions of dollars. But he always knew that he was gonna fuck him up. You have to go in here and stop this train with Jake Paul. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, Tyron. You got to go in here and shut this hype train down. You have to. There's no option. You got to shut this nigga down. Period. Period. It ain't no option to none of that shit. You have to go shut this man down. I hope Floyd is teaching you everything. I hope you're working on your cardio. I really hope you go ahead and give a good showing of yourself. But that shit cannot be your stablemate Ben Askren all over again. You can't go ahead and let this dude drop you in the first round, or you try to fake an injury. When you think you're about to get knocked out, you about to fake a rib injury or something like that. No, man, you need to come in here and shut this dude up once and for all, man. It's no option there, Tyrone. You got to make it happen. I need for y'all to hit that like button, man. Come on now, hit the like button for me. I know I'm not on here every day, but hit the like button, man. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate Pete Davenport for showing love once again, my brother. Wish you nothing but the best and blessings in life, man. Thank you for your support. Roller's a young fighter with a bad attitude, and that makes me interested in fights. They got to be talking about social media status. I'm trying to what y'all think about? Yeah, this is the last topic I want to ask you about. Devin Haney and JoJo Diaz fighting later on. What do you think about that fight? What do you think about Devin Haney stepping there with JoJo Diaz after he's coming off a common opponent, man, that was supposed to fight so many people, but then so JoJo Diaz comes off and gets a win against Javier Fortuna. And from my understanding, Team Haney being free agents, they're gonna scoop up JoJo Diaz and say, okay, we'll fight him. What are your thought process on that? Is that an interesting name that you want to see Haney in there with? It's not an absolute. It's not anything negative to JoJo Diaz. I actually like the guy. You know, um, how does it affect Devin Haney in the lightweight division? I just don't see where it's beneficial, except the name. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that JoJo Diaz, that was his first fight up there at lightweight division against Javier Fortuna. So he's stepping in there to fight JoJo Diaz, which is okay, but what we really want to see is the top five. We want to see if it's not going to be Lomachenko because he's fighting Teofimo Lopez, then we would definitely like to see Ryan Garcia step up instead of calling out Gervonta Davis. We more than now, we would like to see Ryan Garcia face Devin Haney. It'll be a good fight. He's not ready for Gervonta Davis. He can sit there and do that flat-footed counter left hook all day long. But if you feel that you have the knockout power, I would like to see Devin Haney faces Ryan Garcia. That's correct. I would be upset will he lose, man. He needs to come up out of there and serve Jake Paul. All that time, big bro, and vice versa to you and the family. Always good favor. Always God favors. Yeah, same to you, my brother. Same to you. Devin Haney wins, but JoJo has to fight aggressively and apply pressure. He has to make Devin uncomfortable. And he can't be taking those I wouldn't say timeouts, but he can't have a moment where he's not active with his hands with somebody like Devin Haney. Because you allow Devin Haney to start goddamn spinning up those combinations, he's gonna drop them motherfuckers off on your jaw. And I just saw him, Javier Fortuna taking a little bit of breaks in there with not Javier Fortuna, JoJo Diaz. I saw him taking some breaks in there sometime with Javier Fortuna. He's not gonna be able to do that with Devin Haney, man. You think that left eye getting cut all the time? Shit, he gonna have another problem. The fight gonna get stopped by a cut. He's gonna have to stay active and use his defense very well. Else he's gonna be getting caught with some shit that's gonna be embarrassing. It's gonna be embarrassing. I think JoJo barely got by Fortuna and looked kind of sloppy. He might get smashed up against Haney. J8, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. You come in there and you want to put pauses in there against somebody like Haney and you ain't throwing enough punches, he gonna make you pay, man. He gonna make that fight look as easy as it did with Linares. I'm telling you. I don't know why they so quick to send out a verbal agreement or try to fight JoJo. Why? Try to go for Ryan Garcia or something. I mean, Garcia is what we truly want to see. Fight somebody. Richard Coleman's he's not gonna get that fight. Rolando Romero, he's not gonna fight Devin Haney anytime soon. But we might see Rolando Romero, Gervonta Davis, since Floyd said he's keeping some of them fights in house. We might be able to see that up the road. Short answer, I think Haney smokes JoJo. If Haney can get the big name, JoJo is a good stay active fight. I like JoJo too. I think I really think Haney and Ryan is a closer fight than people think. If it's close, man, we need to make it happen. We need to keep the coals hot to the end of the year with some good names on that motherfucker, man. And one thing we can say about Ryan Garcia, his name is out there for a selection process with the top five. Now, like I said before, I don't know if the team Mayweather is going to give him a shot at Gervonta. They seem to want the fight. We'll see what happens. Then, of course, you have Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. We don't know what the fuck is going on with this IBF championship, but Vasil Lomachenko is still a big name. I'd like to see Devin Haney face Lomachenko. You know, if they still going to fight, why Team Haney just don't call out Lomachenko and try to get that fight? Because he might be on lockdown with Bob Arum to have a rematch with Teofimo Lopez. I don't know. I don't know, man. Shit. Man, we've been cooking for damn near 2 hours. I know it's late, but you know what? Man, I hope each and every one of you on here have a damn good week. Be safe out there, man. I'm not going to give you no COVID goddamn lecture because I don't even know where COVID's at. I can't tell y'all shit about COVID if I don't know where it come from. But the only thing I can do is you have a mask, wear it as much as you possibly can. Because the shit is motherfucking real, authentic, and is not to be played with. Especially the mucus part of it. It is not to be played with, big homie. COVID is real, but I don't know where it come from. I don't know who got it. I see people eating at a restaurant, talking and all this other shit in a mask. The one thing I would tell you, if you're in a public place, take your mask off and put it in your pocket. Don't just have it on top of the counter where all these people are talking, drinking, and then you take that mask and put it back on your face. Don't do it. But y'all know what it is, man. I appreciate y'all for pulling up once again to support us, man. I love the numbers because the ones that's in here know what the fuck they talking about. I appreciate everyone for pulling up. We shall do it again. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports.